Hello, and welcome to a very rough introduction guide to Planetside 2 for new players. If you've never touched the game before, and you've just downloaded it, installed it, and you want to know what to do next, I'm going to try and kind of cover the basics to kind of ease you into the game. So with that being said, let's go straight into it. Here we are in Planetside 2, and we're on the character selection screen. So I'm going to pick Ten Republic, but you can pick the blue team or the purple team, it's up to you. There are different flavors and nature to them. One is sci-fi energy weapons, the other one's kind of more harder hitting, lower magazine counts, more or less. And the Ten Republic, which is more rapid fire, larger magazines, but there's a whole more backstory to it. I encourage you to maybe Google and have a look and decide on your faction. Anyway, pick a faction. Pick a name. Now we're going to view all servers. So these are all the server regions: EU, US West, East, Asia. I myself do not have a character on Cobalt, so I'm going to pick Cobalt. And we should be taken to basic training as a new player. Or not. It's just dumped me straight into the game. Okay. Well, first thing we're going to do is, if you're taken into basic training, complete the missions on the basic training. If you are not taken to basic training and you're dumped into the middle of the world, I recommend you press U.
Select a location from the menu and use the spawn button.
Okay, we have a helpful guide. And then, so on the map, we have 3 safe zones known as warp gates. And we are going to, when you press the U button, you get all these little green dots. These are basically places that you can spawn into. So I'm going to double tap the green button next to our warp gate, just to kind of go back to the safe place.
Heavy assault infantry carry anti-vehicle rocket launchers, light machine guns, and have an improved nanite shield for absorbing more damage than other classes.
Okay, so there is a helpful guide there. Can I turn the helpful, go away? Anyway, going back. So when you're in the warp gate, you have a number of different areas and terminals. Anything with kind of a weapon on and your faction color, in this case we're red, is an equipment terminal. So we can go up to it.
One of the most important terminals is the equipment terminal. This terminal can be used to resupply ammunition, change your class, or change what weapons you're using.
Basically what he said. You can change your class, you can change your equipments, you can change your kind of loadouts and what you have. That's all done from an equipment terminal. You don't actually need to be in an equipment terminal to change loadouts. You can hit escape and go down to classes, and then you can mix and match and change. And that's the same for vehicle as well. You can mix and match and mess around as well. One thing that might be good as a new player to just try stuff out is actually go to the...
Warp gate terminals allow long-range transportation for infantry units.
Warp gate terminal.
Soldier to travel to any linked location in an
and we want to go to VR training, and then let's go warp there. So if you're brand new, this just gives you a feel for the game rather than throwing you straight in the deep end. I mean, if you want to do that and just run around like a mad headless chicken and get shot at, go for it. VR training is an area where you can basically equip anything. The game works on the principle that your character is battle rank 1, has no experience, has no certifications, which is where these little orange things on the bottom. When you perform beneficial actions for your faction, you repair something, you heal someone, you kill someone, you capture something, you get experience. Experience converts into certifications, and then certifications which allow you to unlock elements to your guns, or they unlock, say, elements to your class and armor and all that type of stuff. But to get into the game right away, if you go to VR, this is just kind of a training area, you can pick any gun, even if you don't have it unlocked, as it were. Oh, I want to try this thumper gun, and I want to try it with this trigger, and I want to try it with that ammunition. Resupply. Oh, and now I have it. Bingo. Fancy. So that's the benefits of the VR training. And then one of the other elements is you can try also the different type of equipment sets. And it's really just before you dump certification on something, you can try the different classes.
It's a close to medium range skirmisher that has a jetpack for extreme mobility and
Yep.
can quickly flank enemy positions.
So you can just try everything out. And then one of the other elements is we have the ground vehicle terminal.
Where you can create your own vehicles for your use.
And you can pick, now there are a number of vehicles. The Flash is a 2-man transport. The Harasser is also a 2-man transport, but you get a sort of a top gun, and its role can change depending on the type of gun that you put on it. And you can mess around here. The Sundra is like the most multi-purpose vehicle. It comes with 2 different types of guns, and it can transport, I believe, almost a whole squad, 12 people. Yes, and you have a variety of different kind of weaponry that you can put on to customize it. I personally, if I'm just a 1-man Sundra, I like to have sort of a multi-purpose gun at the front, which is kind of like the Basilis kind of machine gun, and then I might put on the Walker at the back or the Ranger, and these are anti-air guns, just so in case anything comes attack spec, I can do it. And then the actual Sundra itself can have a variety of breaching roles, armored roles, deployment, so that's extra tanky, maybe it has radar, maybe it gives ammunition to friendly vehicles, or maybe it repairs friendly vehicles, different loadouts that you can use the vehicle, so it's quite useful. The Lightning is the 1-man tank. It's got your standard kind of weaponry, more explosive, armor piercing, or Skyguard was anti-air. Then you'll have your Empire-specific main battle tank. These you can customize. When I say Empire-specific, I mean for the TR's Prowler, and for the blue team and the purple team, it's different. They're different tanks entirely, and you can change the kind of weapon loadout. You get the idea here. And the Ant is the special vehicle for construction things, which we're not going to go into too much just right this moment. But it's not really an offensive weapon. And then the way that we pay for vehicles is a resource known as nanites. You get 750 nanites, and that caps, and nanites regenerate every 5 minutes at a rate about 50. You can get elements such as membership and boosts to kind of up that number, but it's kind of like a throttle on what you can afford and you play, so you can't just spam everything all the time. So yeah, so you can come into VR, you can spawn a tank, and then you can just experiment with all the different, like the aims, the zooms, how it works, how the drop of the weapon is, what the secondary gun's like, etc, etc. So this is your safe haven. I recommend you go here first. Try all the different guns, try different combinations, try different vehicles, see for a feel at what kind of player you might want to be. Do you like flying? Do you like ground vehicles? Do you like infantry combat? Anyway, so I am going to go back. So U is the redeploy button, and I'm going to go to the world ball here, and I'm going to redeploy to, now on the maps, Esamir is the only one that's currently open. The other ones are locked because there's not enough population to justify opening them up, so it keeps kind of the fight concentrated. Coulter is a sort of a new player continent, so it's normally deserted because there's a limit on the battle rank you can be when you come to here, so it's like a very noob or low battle rank friendly continent. It's a super condensed small version of a normal continent map, and it allows you to, it's almost like VR, but now there are no bots, they're real people, assuming there were people here. And it's obviously currently deserted because it's too early in the day, or there just aren't that many new people on at this current time. Anyway, this is just an example of what Coulter is. And you can mess around and you can experiment, even maybe you and a friend are playing, you can experiment capturing a base or moving around, that type of stuff. So anyway, let's go to Esamir. Esamir is the frozen continent. When you warp into a continent, you get dropped off typically at the warp gate. Warp gate is the safe haven. It has a protective bubble around it, and the enemy cannot come in here, and they can't shoot you in here, and there's no friendly fire in here, so you can just to your heart's content, you're safe. And we can see the map is kind of progressing. There's fights in all directions. We have the highest population at the moment, and there's a lot going on here. In essence, if you want to take over enemy territory, there are a thing called lattice lines. So for example, if I wanted to capture this base called East River Sky Station, we do not have currently a direct link. However, if we were to capture Echo Valley Station, because we do have active links with these yellow black bars, the base would flip, and then that would mean East River becomes vulnerable. So anyway, as far as the first class that happens, I would quite much, I think it's good English, I would probably recommend the Combat Medic in terms of the easiest way of getting experience, because you can, not only do you get experience from shooting people, you get experience from healing people and reviving people with the Reviving Medical Applicator. And the first couple of certs we're probably going to put into upgrading our site Oh, we get it for free. Well, there you go. So if you go into your weapon, you can change a whole different types of attachments. And looks like we get forward grip and an optic for free. So I'm going to take that. Do we get one for the pistol? Some of these weapons are unlocked because I've unlocked them on other characters. Okay. Well, equip now. Done.
Combat medics are general purpose infantry that can heal.
Thank you. Right, so there are two ways of getting to combat. One, you can go up to an aircraft and fly there, probably, or get a vehicle and drive there, but since we're so quite far away from the front line, I'm just going to press the U button and redeploy. And the reason I'm doing that is just so that I can then spawn in at a closer base. And then now I'm going to look at the map and decide where I want to go as a new player. So I'm not necessarily, when I look at a map, I'm looking at anything that's got these kind of swirly bars, which are kind of like progress on the red. And then I'm also hovering the mouse over, and you see in the bottom right, just above my head behind me, is a population balance. So at this base, we have overpopulation, in that we have more than the enemy. I'm looking at Aurora Labs. We have underpopulation by quite a lot. That might be kind of dangerous to go in as a brand new player by ourselves. We're overpopping Echo Valley. We are underpopped and about to lose Bridgeward. And we're overpopped only by a small amount, Ymir Eastern Way Station. So as a new player, I'm just trying to go for something safe to go into. Let's see. Yeah, here's one. We're attacking here. It's roughly even numbers. We're slightly underpopped, and there's a Sunder. Sunder is not a base spawn option. It's a logistic option for to attack a base. So I'm going to press H, make the minimap bigger. I'm going to zoom in so I can see as much as I can. I have set the faction colors on the minimap so that the colors are red are Ten Republic, blue or New Conglomerate, and purple are Vanu Sovereignty. When you first join the game, it may be slightly different colors and you can change in the settings. Now I'm going to look at the minimap and I can see that they've got 2 dead people, and then there's that little purple, this little purple thing here is known as a motion sensor, so the enemy can see what... Yeah. I thought I'd throw a grenade. Talking on a new car. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to buddy up with some other red people and not get farmed. Which is a possibility. Okay, so I'm going to run to the capture point. To flip a base, it's all about controlling this capture point. Now, as a combat medic, aim for the head. And your F button is, see that energy bar in the middle of my screen to the left? That's my AoE heal ability. Now, I want to get rid of that motion tracker because it's giving us away. So this is the capture point. That's a friendly person. So just bring the med tool up and you right click on them and it recovers. That was an infiltrator, and you can see it because the distortion field when he's cloaked. Where is that? Oh, wrong person. Oh, back at him. I'm trying to find that motion tracker, but I can't find it at the moment.
Show me what you're made of.
I think we're also outnumbered now. I'm just gonna hide for a moment. And get stuck. Oh, and I got spotted. Okay, well let's maybe find something slightly larger. Anyway, we got a little bit of certs, and what do we get? Yeah, we got over on 200 certs. Check that out. Nice. So you can now choose how you want to upgrade. So what I might choose is I'm going to leave the armor on, and I'm going to leave the regen device. What I might do is increase the effectiveness of the medical applicator, and that means by upgrading this, I revive faster and things get more health. This is a better way of just getting some usefulness out of me. Yeah, so that's quite quick, because when you bring the medical applicator out and you left click, you heal someone, and when you right click, you revive them if they're dead. And that way you're going to get kind of more certs. And I'm going to check the map. Okay, we're winning that one. Anyway, you're getting the kind of feel for it. I'm going to just jump into Ymir Eastern Way substation. So one of the other things you can do, rather than being ooh, hello. well, I can't stop that. There's nothing I can do, and the guns are wrong, so I'm just going to leave. Is you can join a squad. So the next thing we do is if we hit escape and we go to social, which is the people one, you can see there are listed squads. People who have a squad and they've listed it open, allowing you to join them. Oh crap, there's another person. I just figured if I kept running away it wouldn't go well. Okay, so anyway, go back to the social. Now we want to find people on this continent, and the cohesion is quite nice if there's a number, so we can see that these guys are fairly close together. 7 out of 12, yeah, I'll join them. Boom, I'll look at Simpleton. Okay, well, if you want to listen to voice, you can do that. Otherwise, I am going to turn voice off for the moment, just so I don't get interrupted. Back to deployment. So now we're in squad, and we can see there is a waypoint, and there's a whole bunch of people saying go here. That's the leader doing that. So, alright, fine, let's do that. We'll spawn at the option, and we'll go join our buddies. Oh, he's a dead person, so I'm going to right click, res him. Done. Oh, and when you see someone, sorry, you queue them. And when you see a bad guy, you queue them, it marks them up for everyone else on the minimap. Anyway, this is kind of like a very rough intro guide. I don't necessarily know where to go from here because it starts getting a little bit more advanced, but basically every base has a central capture point. You go, you flip it, it starts a 4-minute timer, the base then flips to you. Larger bases, like Warson's Redemption here, they have 4 capture points, and you have to control the, more. If you control 2 and the enemy controls 2, it doesn't go anywhere. If you can control 3 and the enemy controls 1 of the capture points, then it slowly flips in your favor, and if you own all 4 of them, then it flips much faster. And normally I think it's 7 minutes or quicker. No, it could be like quicker, like 2 minutes or something, but if it's slow, it could be up 7 minutes. And then large bases such as a tech plant, they have a single capture point, but they take 7 minutes to flip, giving the defenders the time to come back and kind of rescue. Anyway, what else can we talk about? Well, as our first playing session, we're just going to move up, and we can see, alright, look, there's I can kill some people, or I see friendlies. I'm just going to right click and revive him. And I got some experience from that. As much experience as you would from killing the enemy. Shotguns. Shotguns in the back. Oh, but we're getting revived. Excellent. So, it's a good thing I rezzed him, because he probably rezzed me, I think. So I'm going to use my AoE heal ability. I'm going to heal this guy up. I'm going to get a little bit of experience. Watching for anyone approaching by. And I see on the minimap, I'm looking down there, and I can see most of them are in that building right now. Little purple dots. I'm going to see if I can get this guy. There we go. Grenade! Here we heal. Res him. Why can't I res that guy? Don't know. Oh, because he's already been resed. Reload. So we have the we had the capture point. Capture point's at the back, and the base is about to. Never mind, not that way. How do we get up there? I think we have to go up steps. All right, let's run there quickly. Oh, we have the capture point back. Great. So here's the capture point, and basically the spawn room in a base is owned by the defenders, and they are over there, and they're trying to make. You're welcome. So this is the cap point. They're trying to get from the spawn room to here to then flip it back, and it's basically if you have more people in proximity. We defended the capture point. The base flips. And facility captured. And now we can spawn into the base, and it's now our territory, and we can spawn in by clicking on the little dot there, so we have to wait for the deploy timer. Oh, and now we can spawn in. And this is the spawn room. Spawn rooms in a base are a safe haven as well. No one can get in here, hostile that is. And if you step out, you can get shot at, and if you're inside, you can't. So there are a few other elements to characters. There are a thing called implants. You get 2 of them per character layout. There's a lot of them. A lot of them do lots of different things. I highly encourage you to go to YouTube and just Google implants. I think a guy called Kamikaze78, he made a video about it that's really, really interesting. You have extra loadout options, so you don't need to be just this particular setup. You can have, oh, I want to have a different gun, and I would like it to be a shotgun, which is what this one is. So you can have different loadouts, and you can choose what you want when you spawn. You can choose different classes as well. In a very brief nutshell, Infiltrator and what we were killing with that cloak field. So if we go up to an equipment terminal and we've got an Infiltrator, my usability, well, doesn't necessarily, different classes also have weapon limitations, they can't carry all the weapons. So yes, it can be snipers, but it's also very devilish if you use a submachine gun. You just kind of move around, come up behind someone and go, surprise! So, Light Assault has the jump jetpack, which we saw in the VR, so I encourage you to check that out. Combat Medic I find is the most useful just in the beginning early game to get some easy certifications, because you can heal and revive people, so that's easy experience. You don't have to go toe to toe with other people. Excuse me. And Engineer Deployables has some fun little Spitfire turrets, kind of AI automated turrets, can heal vehicles and that type of stuff with the repair. They have explosives and demos and that type of stuff as well. And then a Max, which heavy assault, sorry, is like big heavy machine gun, rocket launchers, lock-ons, that type of stuff. They have an energy shield when you're fighting, so it kind of makes them quite powerful in 1 versus 1 scenarios. And then the Max is this kind of big heavy mechanized unit. Now it can't capture points if I'm right, and has big unwieldy weapons. And it's slow, and it has like an Empire specific function, so it locks down or shields or whatever. But the point is, it has no shields, it has armor, so it needs to be repaired by an engineer, not a medic. So I encourage you to check it out yourself and mess around. Okay, so that's that done. What else can we talk about? I guess there are more advanced guys. There is the whole construction side to Planetside, and there are the kind of how you squad lead, and there are outfits. So we are currently in a platoon. That means we're in a squad that is joined together to form 4 squads that makes a platoon. So it's up to 48 people. You can join an outfit, and outfits are basically like clans or teams or whatever, and you can search and find and see what might suit you best and request to join. And I encourage you to do that, because that's where you get a lot of experience and people teach you about stuff and whatnot. And then outfits also have like fancier features that they can use as well in the battlefield. But if we're just jumping in and having fun, okay, look, they said, hey, go here. Looks like they're attacking, and they said, go here. I want to go check out this space. We'll see if we can make a save. This is being attacked.
Teleporters provide quick transportation within the facility. Step on the pad to begin.
Yeah, so teleporters are those little pad things there, and they teleport you to the receiving pad. So we've got the capture point back, we've got quite a few people. If you do shoot friendlies, it does it does eventually lock your gun. And the thing is, the reason we upgraded our medic gun at the beginning was that we revive people faster. That circular rotation process is quicker if it's upgraded. You can see that shield is broken, my health, in the middle, and then after a few seconds it kind of regenerates. This is a jump pad, not a teleport pad, so jump pads will actually kind of do this to you. And this is the biolab, which again you can explore at your own discretion. This big beam of light here is known as a squad beacon. This is this thing here, number 4. You put it down and then you can basically drop pod in, which again is its own little way of spawning. Okay, I'm running out of ideas to talk about for a new player guide. I'm sure there's more. Oh, there's a guy. They liked it. Ooh. Okay, so that bubble right here, that's a cloaked Sunderer. Oh. Yeah, run! Ah! Okay. The bubble, you can see the distortion field is a cloaked sunder. So that was like that sunder we showed at the beginning, but it had a cloaked field on it. So when you deploy it, it's not visible. It kind of cloaks itself and everyone inside it unless you open fire. And that way it gives you kind of hidden spawn options. Because if you want to attack a hostile base, you by default do not have spawn options, and the defenders do because they have the spawn room, so they have the defender's advantage. So you need to bring logistics, and in this case, it's a deployed sunder, what we have right here. So the sunder is allowing me and my empire to spawn in and attack the base. And this is an example of a cloak sunder that we can see. So I can see the bubble and the vehicle because I'm of that faction. And yeah, you need logistics, so that means you have to move up spawn options. That could be beacon, that could be sunder and whatnot, but then you also have to control, theoretically, the surrounding area, prevent enemy vehicles or aircraft killing your spawn options, and then just out of the nature of a grinding infantry fight, if you can't respawn, then the enemy overwhelms you and they can go from their spawn room to the capture building. So there's a lot of combined armed elements. You can go solo and be like a solo warrior like I am right now with the medic, jumping around the map to different fights, and reading the map is probably one of the best ways to decide where to go and what to do and how to play it. And knowing the limitations, I can't do anything about that lightning, so I'm not going to try. And the joining squads, and then basically these are like public squads, in that they are listed. So we, again, if I show you, we went to social, and then we can leave the platoon at any point by clicking leave, and then we can see here are all the listed squads, and I want to make sure I'm playing with one on this continent, not a different one. And then I can see, okay, here's the how far away they are. This is how many they currently have in their squad, and yes, so I'm gonna join the 11 out of 12. Oh, that's a freebie squad, just a single squad, no platoon, right? I'm gonna go back to deployment. Where are they? There they are. No, there's one. Oh, they're actually kind of all spread over the place. Don't want to be in this one, so I'm gonna leave. I'm going to join the Zerg one that we were doing with before. There we go. Go back to deployment. Oh, and see how they're going up to the next base. That's kind of cool. Well, anyway. Let's see if can I spawn in one of the Sunders? I might be able to. You can spawn into Sunders as well as they're moving if they've got people inside. More learning things. Anyway, this is kind of dragging on. This is now turned into a 27-minute video. So much for like 10, which was the original intention. If you've watched this far, I congratulate you. Go in and play. If you want to know, I am on Miller. I play Terran Republic and Miller. If you want to come play with me, just send me a message on YouTube or whatever in comments or in game, and then we can hang out and, you know, kind of showcase. But if you really want to learn the game, I highly encourage you to join squads. I highly encourage you to join outfits, mess around in the VR, try different playstyles, and then go medic first in the beginning. Check it out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and you all have a great day. Goodbye.